Everyone, today I'm going to talk about types of people I really don't like. And these aren't pet peeves. I think these are things that once someone does this in front of me, I genuinely dislike them slash try to cut them from my life. Pretty extreme, I understand. And I'm definitely no perfect human being. I'm sure I do multiple things, if not a whole array of things that people also dislike. But these are just things that, with the moment I see them, I really hate it. And I hope you guys let me know in the comments below if you guys agree or I am a psychopath. Number one, people that don't apologize after they are proven wrong. This is something that I have been growing to suppress because I know that it's kind of a bad habit to do so, and I've gotten a fair number of fights because of this, but it's just something that I can't let go, especially on a factual perspective. If you and I are having an argument and it is a factual argument, I say 1 plus 1 equals 2 and you say 1 plus 1 equals 3, and you and I go at it for some time to dispute slash settle what is correct, and then we Google it and ultimately we figure out 1 plus 1 does equal 2 and I'm correct. I truly expect that other person who's been wrong for the past hour or so to say sorry and let me know that they've been wrong, especially if they went out of their way to say that I've been wrong that entire time. Nothing bothers me more than people who don't admit that they've been wrong or kind of brush that under the rug and say, oh yeah, I was wrong, and then move on as if the past hour hasn't happened. If you give your heart to something, if you are passionate about an argument, but you've been wrong, you need to admit that you were wrong. And this doesn't stop at the factual level. Any argument, whether it be an opinionated argument or whether you are in the wrong of a conflict, you need to apologize when you're wrong. If you don't do that, I will say, as far as I don't like you, I don't want to be friends with you. This goes into a slightly off tangent conversation of people who can't have material conversations, people who talk about nothing. If all you talk about was how your day was, or your entire conversation consists of talking bad on other people, you can't hold a conversation about life, or you try to avoid those things and say, oh, that's taboo, or why would we talk about something there's no answer to? You're not passionate about a conversation, and all I see you talking about are immaterial things, things that don't really matter. I don't really like you. Actually, I don't even know if not like is the right word to use. I just find no reason to engage with you or be social with you because that's what I care about. Slash, I'm not really sure what else there is to life unless you're contemplating life and important questions like, why are we here? What are we supposed to do? Who do we love? Why do we love who we love? If all you talk about are different foods you ate or the party that you're going to next or the rave that you were at last Saturday, you are not important to me, and I find no reason to engage with you. Let me do a slightly lighthearted one that's less philosophical in nature. If you don't Venmo back right away, I really don't like you and lack respect for you. If someone else is using their money to pay for something, and of course in the adult world there's benefits to paying because you have points, and maybe you don't want to use cash, but that is just a 21st century Gen Z unspoken mannerism. If someone pays on your behalf, you should pay immediately. There's no payback later, forget sending reminders. It is not the job of the person that paid to send you reminders. The moment you receive a request for Venmo, you should pay it off. In fact, you shouldn't even expect it to send requests. You should be the one going out of your way to pay it. And it's not going out of your way, it's just simple mannerism. And I think that tells a lot about a person. But every time I meet someone that is hesitant to pay back Venmo, unless you're going through something and maybe you just need a couple days to get your paycheck, sure, and you should explain that. But if you have every ability to do so and you're not paying it back, I've never met someone who doesn't pay back Venmo immediately that is a okay person. It's a very good leading indicator of what kind of person that is. Please pay back your Venmos immediately. It's not even paying back, it is paying your fair share at that moment. On this lighthearted train, if you don't enjoy food, I don't like you. I mean, it's a preference, but it's just something that I find very important, very strong in my social activities. I've found people who are just not interested in food. They don't care what they eat. They can eat the same thing every single day. I will go as far as to ask you, what else is the point of life besides, I guess I just said the point of life is to talk about life and contemplate life, but food is a close second. Every day there's interesting new foods to try. You need to enjoy things like food to really enjoy life. If you go to a restaurant and you just seem unengaged and reluctant to try new things and in general are just not interested in food. It's less so I don't like you. It's more so I'm just curious as to what else brings joy to your life. Back on the more serious and life level train, if you're incompetent, my immature self will say I don't like you. But if you're incompetent and you're proud, that is probably the line that I draw. And I'm talking about you could be dumb, you could be unskilled, you could be untalented and be a confident person. That I respect. But if you're proud and prideful in the things that you're incompetent in and you don't recognize that you're incompetent, especially by age of 25, something is wrong. You need a reality check. And I think if anything, it is on the responsibility of others at that point to really just let them know you are bad at this. You shouldn't be at the forefront of this. You shouldn't be acting like you're good at this, because people can be hurt. People can lose. People can be negatively affected by someone who is not good at something leading the charge / acting like they're good at something. If you're bad at something, you should know that you're bad at something, and you should stop doing those things or stop acting like you know what you're doing. Pride and incompetence are a terrible pair to have, and if you have that, I try to stay away from you. This is something that I've been becoming better at myself. It's something that if I saw my 14-year-old self, even my 20-year-old self, I would have hated myself, because it's a quality that I look for in people a lot nowadays. But if you're bad to your parents, if you treat your parents in a bad manner, I don't like you. I've cut out many people in my life because of that. I've seen them explicitly do that to your parents. Of course, obligatory, there are exceptions. There are parents who are bad people, and perhaps going out of your way to be bad to them is still a bad thing, but there's no reason to treat people that are terrible in a nice way, especially if it's your parents. They should be responsible and treat you well. But I would argue, at least in my social circle, most parents have done their best, and the kids are the ones that are typically not in understanding of what their parents have done for them. If you treat your parents badly, if you don't prioritize your parents and things, if you treat your friends better than you treat your parents, something is wrong. If you're generally a nice person, but for whatever reason, you're just rude to your parents, you deprioritize them, you don't visit them on holidays. Of course, those aren't sure-telling metrics of what is good treatment and bad treatment. You could not visit them for holidays and still be a good child. Give them a call sometime. Bottom line, once I have seen people that are treating their parents in a poor way, I have cut people out. In fact, I think this is the number one thing that I have explicitly cut out people for and told them this is why I'm cutting you out, because it also is a great indicator of what kind of person they are and perhaps what kind of person they'll be as a parent. I also want to know how they would feel if their kids started treating them the same way. It's probably an unending cycle. But bottom line, if you are a child and if you treat your parents poorly, I will explicitly say I don't like you. This, I hope, is a uniform thing. I know that people have different love languages, but I, for one, is of gift and I think quality time, but I don't like touchy people. People that for no reason touch. Men, women, all inclusive. People that come by and just slightly touch the shoulder. Every time they talk, they have a hand on me. It's not something that's sexual in nature. I'm not talking about that realm of things. It's just people who are touchy, period. And I understand many of them don't mean harm. They're not trying to make you uncomfortable, but it's just part of their language, their body language. And I've told explicitly people, I don't like touching, please don't touch me. And they continue to do it. There's something wrong with it. And I'm not going to get into the politics of what that means based on who you are and what your gender is. But touchy people, I just dislike. And I try my hardest as someone who doesn't touch to begin with, to also not make people uncomfortable, even unknowingly. On the flip side of that, I think I have been working on trying to be more friendly with that. If I see a person that I haven't seen for a long time, I kind of go out of my way to hug them because I know that it's a social norm. That just made me sound like a robot. But I think touchy people, I just don't really enjoy being around. I think lastly, this is something that I've also been growing into. If I saw myself back in the day, I would have not liked myself. But people that aren't socially aware of other people being left out. If there's a giant conversation happening and there's clearly someone that wants to join the conversation, but they can't join, but you're constantly just leading the conversation, cutting them out, not being inclusive, and you have the ability to bring them in. You have the ability to ask them a question, to bring them in. You clearly see them wanting to talk, but all you're doing is yapping away and prioritizing yourself. I don't like you. You are being very irresponsible, especially if you're in a place that you can bring someone in and you're of a adult age where you're really not benefiting from just continuously dominating the conversation. You don't look cool. People don't think you're a good talker if you're not good at engaging. The best talkers are the best listeners. I don't like you. Today, a pretty negative video, honestly. of a list of people, types of people that I dislike. Hopefully there's no one that hits all these boxes. I have plenty of room to improve. I think some of these things that I called out, I'm also bad at, but I think knowing that I'm trying to get better at what that is, be great to hear what you guys think of the things I said and what qualities you find very disalarming or turnoffs when you evaluate individuals. As always, hope you guys have a great day. I will see you guys in the next video. Let's go.